Alrighty, it looks like we are live. So, welcome to my channel, Ride, Pray, Love, where we are all about uplifting, inspiring, and empowering you with the medicine of the horse, connecting with Source, Gaia, and beyond. And today, on this fabulous Friday, I wanted to actually share with you something that I feel is so important to shed light around this connection between our physical body, that mind-body connection, really, and some signs that you are either out of alignment and or not living your purpose at this time, or maybe you are on some level, but there's room for improvement. Okay, it's not black and white. It is a journey, and I just want to shed light on this. Yesterday I did a really powerful masterclass Zoominar training, which, by the way, sidebar, as an announcement before I forget, if you are interested in getting free access to this almost 2-hour training where I did a deep dive, I had slides, and I shared about how you can activate your soul's work at the highest level at this time. I shared the 3 sacred shifts that you need to do in order to do that. I revealed my number 1 secret on how to get started making an impact where you are not compromising your values, your freedom, or your health. And ultimately, I shared some super exciting time-sensitive offers to get my support to help you go deeper in this work, where I can personally assist you again in really taking your soul's work to the next level. And this is across the board, whether it's in your body, health, work, career, soul's calling, passion project, and beyond. Okay. And so if you would like to get free access to this limited, training, which was really, content rich, a beautiful and powerful process came through, an activation where I channeled the energies that I work with from Source and my guides to assist you in aligning with your soul, and more specifically, your soul's desire, number 1 desire at this time, to really release and receive the clarity, receive the vibes, receive, in all the ways to allow you to really quantum leap and collapse time and step into what in so many ways is actually already done. So there's a powerful process in that recording as well, and so much more. So if you're interested in getting access again to this free almost 2-hour video Zoominar training, please make sure that you are on my email list so that you receive all of the call access details. And the way that you do that is it's a shameless bribe, inviting you to join my list is by signing up for a free gift or 2. All that will be below. There are 2 different ways you can sign up, get on my email list, and snag some really awesome high vibe gifts along the way. Okay, so I just want to share that because there is a time sensitive component to that, if that speaks to you. And today I wanted to actually take one piece out of that and share with you again the top 11 signs, actually, and I'm going to be referring to the slide that I took a screenshot of, but the top 11 signs that are really indicating that not only are you not living or in full alignment with your soul's purpose, your soul's work, your soul's truth, your soul's values, and more. But because it's so intimately connected with our past wounds and trauma, and here's where, I really went into depth on the Chiron codes and how that can help you activate, unlock your genius and your gifts, and then integrate more fully any of the unresolved layers of past wounding or trauma, which, again, if that is the case and that there are layers that need a little more work, these signs that I'm about to share with you will also, chances are, be present. Okay. And the last piece of the Chiron codes that I also shared about was the embodiment piece, and really choosing and deciding when you connect with your soul, when you resurrect, even if you have been disconnected for some time, or it's gotten lost under all of the layers of life and society and familiar conditioning, expectation, etc. Sometimes those of us who are super sensitive and empathic and, recovering people pleasers and all of that, it can be so hard to know really what it is that our soul is seeking or desiring, and what's ours and what's not. So anyway, that I went much more deeply into all of this on the Zoominar training. And as I said, I want to invite you to tune in to the recording while it's still up, which is just for another, just through the weekend. Today's Friday. And, in alignment with that, the very time sensitive offers, and I have several of them ranging from VIP, a one-on-one coaching package, to a Sacred Soul Renewal 3-hour VIP intensive with me, and a digital product bundle, my Divine Chiron bundle, all of which are on a special holiday pricing right now. But the catch is it's only for the next 48 hours. So if you want to check any of that out, make sure you don't miss out on the savings and this golden opportunity. I would highly recommend that you sign up again and get on my email list, my VIP list, and snag those gifts while you're at it. That way you can get access to all the recording, and really just being the first to know for even, future specials, promotions, etc. And also my regular love notes that I send out as well. As a perk for joining and being part of the community. So I don't know why this is really bugging me. Anyway, I got my butterflies on, and really, let's dive into today what I feel is so important to shed light on as someone who herself has gone through, in case you don't know my story, in case you're new to my channel, which, by the way, if you are, welcome, warm welcome. Thanks for stopping by. If you're coming back, welcome back. And so if you are not familiar with my story, in a nutshell, on the emotional, spiritual, energetic, and even physical level, right? Because it's all connected. I had my Shiro's journey of going from me too to me free, as I like to say. And in that process of, discovering the treasures in working on and integrating my past traumas and soul wounds, which is what Chiron specifically is so good at helping us do. Chiron, the sacred centaur and wounded healer archetype, who, it's so beautiful to me. I really feel like is the medicine of the horse in the stars, being half horse and half human, right? But anyway, in that my journey in seeking to recover from those traumas for me personally, and the associated health challenges, which I didn't realize initially were connected to these past traumas because they had not been integrated or resolved or, tended to in terms of the healing process, right? Which included chronic fatigue, anxiety, and depression at one time, suicidal, and at one time diagnosed as chronic Lyme's disease, as well as endometriosis, sensitive gut, and more. Okay, and so all of those pieces and parts, and the autoimmune component, which I also dove into on yesterday's call, were really a response that my body was having to these trapped energies and emotions associated with these past traumas, okay, in a nutshell. So again, I went deeper into that on the call yesterday. And so what I really want to do is just, talk about these the top 11 signs that are really signaling that not only, do you potentially have some layers of unresolved trauma, but that you are also not in alignment with your soul's purpose, calling, work, or truth at this time. And here is the piece that I hope you can really hear, that I've been really sharing in different ways over the past couple weeks, even whether it's on YouTube, whether it's been in yesterday's training and my Cosmic Cowgirl podcast as well. And if you're interested in that, please let me know as well. I'll put that link down below. That's it's completely audio. But anyway, this awareness I think is so important to realize, and it was such a huge aha moment for me on my healing journey, that really helped shift things in a big way. And I want that for you, potentially, if you're dealing with any of these symptoms. And the last thing I want to say before I actually share them is that, as I mentioned earlier, it's not black and white, right? There is a spectrum. So all of these symptoms that I'm going to be sharing with you, at one time, I literally could check them all off, okay, all of them. And if I were to rate each one of them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, in terms of intensity, right? Years back, the intensity for most of them was pretty high, right? Whereas now, fast forward, having done a lot of this work, yes, I am not 100%, perfectly recovered. I'm still a work in progress. And I can happily say and proudly say that the numbers have come down significantly. And so the ones that I can check off and the intensity and the frequency has all decreased in a big way, over 50, 60, 70%, depending on which ones we're talking about. And so, I want to share transparently that it's not like this 100%, quick fix cure and I'm all better. It is a process. It is a journey. And, I just wanted to be clear on that, so that if you resonate with any of these, and as I share them, I would love you to share down in the comments below if any of them do resonate, and that, A, there is no judgment, and B, that, again, it is a journey and we're all human, right? And, hopefully the more aware we are, the more we do our soul's work on multiple levels, whether it's our daily healing and spiritual practice and or, the work, the purpose work, the soul calling work, again, whatever that might look like for you, that is going to help us more fully align with our soul and really heal and reclaim the wholeness, the sovereignty, and the freedom that I do believe we are desiring as spiritual conscious souls on this journey, on this ascension journey, and our soul's evolution. So let me just pull up this because I don't have it memorized. And okay. Okay, here we go. And so the top, of course, okay, so let's see if we can enlarge this. The top, okay, the first sign that you are, and I'm going to just say for the purposes of right now that these are the signs that you're not either living your purpose or not fully aligned, and or again, there's room for improvement, right? Around living your purpose or doing your soul's work. Okay. And again, I'm going to assume that after what I just discussed, you get that also relates to a certain level of unresolved past wounding or trauma unintegrated. Okay. And it just disappeared. So the first one is some level of fear, anxiety, depression, okay, even fatigue, okay. So any of these issues, and again, the FAD syndrome that I refer about that I struggled with for years, chronic fatigue, anxiety, and depression, right? These were all symptoms of an overactive, immune system and nervous system that was so much of my life in that flight or flight mode that it burnt out my adrenals, right? And then was also creating anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and more, okay? That is the first one. This is fun because it keeps closing on me. Okay, next, you may struggle perhaps with some repetitive, either addictive, self-sabotaging, or destructive behaviors or patterns on some level. And again, there's no judgment. This can be anything from, binging on, Netflix or popcorn or potato chips, to excess where it's not healthy, or actual, alcohol, food, substance abuse, whatever that may be, okay? You may also struggle with scattered energy, bright, shiny object syndrome, right? Lack of focus or motivation, keep chasing the next shiny thing because we are seeking that external, validation, approval, love, fix, whatever that is, right? Rather than going within and doing this work that, so many of us avoid doing. I know I did for a long time. And, for part of the time, there's this lack of consciousness and lack of tools and awareness. But as we become more aware, then, we have, I think, a responsibility or a divine duty to start doing this work. You may be also dealing with some level of shame, guilt, or a lack of confidence that's holding you back and causing you to hide or dim your light in terms of, feeling safe, either expressing your fullest self, sharing your message, being visible, whatever the case may be, shining your light, right? Just as even that divine, perfect, being that you already are, okay? Maybe you're even struggling with some frustration, resentment, or even suppressed anger or rage, okay? This one was a big one for me for quite a long time. And, when we internalize that anger and rage, it really can do a number on our health, on our livers, on our immune system, and more. And again, I went into this much deeper yesterday, but I do want to say your rage is holy. It's what we do with it and how we process or manage that energy. Maybe you are hyper vigilant. I know this was a big one for me too. Again, I at one point could check all of these off. Okay, hyper vigilant. Did not feel safe in many situations. And that's why I'm often in group situations. I was like that wallflower and hiding, right? And had trouble trusting others, trusting life because of being a victim / survivor of different layers and levels of trauma in this lifetime and others. That safety zone, that trust factor is something I have had to work on. Okay. The next one is what I like to call the triple P syndrome. So people pleasing, perfectionism, procrastination, which can also, and I can also add to this, analysis paralysis, right? Again, the fear, freeze, flight, fright, freeze. Anyway, you catch my drift, okay? All of these, again, are all signs of needing to do some more work in the healing area, and just personal growth and awareness, right? Feeling like a fraud and imposter syndrome, right? Not enough, that unworthiness factor that can creep in for so many of us. Again, depending on your situation and upbringing and all of that. And of course, different traumas, which there's the full flavor and spectrum of, and I'm not going to go into that now, are also going to contribute to that as well. Again, dealing with chronic health issues. I shared about my Lyme's, the autoimmune, right? Chronic fatigue, anxiety, depression, persistent pain in your body. And even if it's from, say, a physical accident or injury, there is still a certain amount of fear or emotional trauma that happens when we are physically hurt, right? I even, with the horses, when I, was in my practice, even if they had an injury, even if they had fully recovered on the physical level, they might still not use their body to its fullest extent or balance in the balanced way, because they were still protecting themselves because of the muscle memory, the emotional and mental, memory was there, right? And so that is so important to remember that, we need to really be aware of that, so we can use different tools, awareness, breath, etc., to help us navigate that when, we get triggered. And that trigger is always a sign of, past trauma, and therefore holds a treasure of inviting us to do this work. Okay. Mental, and I don't like the word disorders, because I feel from everything that I've studied and learned from different, trauma informed coaches and mentors and my own research, disorder really, for me, is not a helpful term. The body is responding, the nervous system specifically, to keep us safe, right? And so it can develop these mental issues or responses that, get these fancy names like ADHD and bipolar, etc., even thoughts of suicide. All of these things can actually just be a way that our nervous system is really trying to keep us safe. And that's why I don't like the word disorders, okay? But any of these mental issues are definitely a sign or symptom of, again, either unresolved past trauma and or not, fully living your life purpose at this time. And finally, the biggest kind of overarching energy that sort of maybe summarizes the whole thing is that you feel stuck, like there's this invisible energetic force field, block, or barrier that's holding you back from moving forward, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, and really, you feel stuck, right? And that comes from that one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, description that many coaches use to describe this. There's this duality, right? There's a part of us that wants to move forward, that wants to pursue our goals and our dreams and our desires, right? And that foot is, pressing on the gas, while the other foot is the one that's trying to keep us safe, that has fear and resistance and, all the stuff that hasn't really been integrated properly, or we haven't, learned enough, tools or practices to navigate, knowing that moving forward, we are safe and we can rewrite the story and, all of that, right? So, that feeling ends up making us feel stuck, right? Making us feel like we're spinning our wheels, taking all these action, but really not getting anywhere, chasing our tail and getting nowhere fast is what I, used to like to say. So if you can resonate with any of these, again, I would love to hear down below, even if you just put a one or a yes, or, even if you just like the video, that will also give me your feedback and your resonance, and let me know that you are part of this herd, part of this high vibe herd, this trailblazing tribe who is really seeking to rise to our full potential every day, and just having this awareness, just acknowledging that, this is going on. And like I said, I'm here, and there was a time I would have been petrified and, totally like embarrassed and mortified to actually even share that I could still, check off some of these signs and symptoms. But, in doing the work over the years of learning to love myself and, choose and rewrite the story that I am not broken and that I'm perfect as I am, and I get to, learn and grow and evolve along the way and enjoy the ride, and it's all good, it's all okay. And so I want to invite you to, perhaps stretch your comfort zone, and let me know that this is resonating for you. Again, either down below in a comment, with a like, with a subscribe, and or sharing with anyone you know who might benefit from this conversation. So, in summary, to wrap this up, I just want to leave you with some uplifting and empowering words, as well as the reminder and the invitation that if you would like to learn more on this topic and how, the Chiron, I just ate, how the way of the Chiron-Preneuer, how my Chiron codes work, can actually assist you, again, in activating your soul's work, your purpose, even your health, and more. In a way that's aligned with your soul, because at the end of the day, that is really the key here, that we are aligning our vision, our values, and our vibes, and ultimately the action, and pointing our arrow in that direction, right? That is aligned with our soul. And so if you want to go deeper on this topic, and again, tune into my free Zoominar training that I hosted yesterday, which is up for just the next 48 hours. I highly recommend that you go ahead and get on my email list, as I mentioned before, by snagging one of my gift offers that you'll find down below. And I will be, sending out the replay again later on, so you will have access to that. If you have any issues or questions, or somehow timing wise, we miss, you're seeing this later and I've already sent it out, please feel free to email me as well, at, the email address that I have down below, and I will get you the information ASAP. So I want to leave you with just some words from Spirit that I, felt coming through earlier, to share with you, and that is that there is nothing wrong with you. And if you are feeling, a little glum, again, it's the holiday season, this can be a difficult time for so many. And side note too, in case you missed this on one of my past videos, when you go to sign up on my email list, one of the options is to get my 5 high vibe timeless tracks to help you raise your vibration. And one of those in there is called Blissmas Alchemy, and that was specifically, transmitted to help, transmute, if you will, and alchemize the Christmas blues that so many of us can feel this time of year, and shift those energies. So that free activation process is available for you as well when you sign up below. So, really, again, back to my main message here, or my, wrapping up closing message, is to just know that, there's nothing wrong with you, and there is perfection in your human imperfection, and to invite yourself to really, see yourself and others through the eyes of God, to invite yourself to know that, if you're feeling sad or glum or depressed, or, if you resonated with some of the signs and that maybe is triggering something in you, to know that it's all okay and not to judge it, to just love yourself even more through it. When I got diagnosed about 5, 6 years ago with the chronic Lyme's, one of the ways that I actually started to shift that energy, because I really don't like labels and I don't like owning that energy. And I only share it because of the story, but I don't really, own it now as, who I am or part of my identity. And I love acronyms. And so at the time, when I was doing the work to really, shift and heal these energies, and the identity or the label, I turned it into love yourself every second. What did it? LYMES. Sorry. Love myself. Love yourself. Why more every second. It's been a while since I've used it. So anyway, you catch my drift, right? It's all at the end of the day, and I can't believe this lighting here, but the sun's been playing hide and seek. But at the end of the day, it's all about, can we love ourselves some more? Can we break our hearts open a little more? Can we make the cracks a little bigger, and let that light in, let that love in or out, as the case may be, right? Really, when we put up these walls energetically too to protect our heart, we may think we're keeping ourselves safe from getting hurt again, for example. And this, is a big thing I've seen in so many of the clients I've worked with, where, there's this energetic wall or barrier that we create along the way when we have specific traumas or heartaches or heartbreaks, right? And so we create this barrier thinking that we want to protect ourselves from getting hurt again. And what we are doing is, yes, we may be protecting ourselves from not feeling pain or hurt again, but we're also blocking at the same time the joy and the ability to receive, an even greater, better love or experience or connection, right? When we are blocking, our ability to give and receive love, right? And so, just know, no matter where you are and what's going on for you, know that everything is okay, that you are, deeply supported, you're completely loved. And, if you open up to it, you are being divinely directed and protected, more than you know. And so I am gonna leave that there. And if you have any questions, again, I always invite you to share in the comments below. I'd love to hear your greatest takeaway. And, again, if you're really enjoying this content, this conversation, I want to thank you in advance for supporting me to do more of this by liking, sharing, subscribing, in all the ways. So have a fabulous rest of your Friday and weekend. Until next time, I love you. Ciao for now. Namaste. Bye.